Hi guys, and welcome to 123 MyIT's video on Apple's MacBook 12-inch 2016 model in rose gold. On the outside, the 2016 MacBook is essentially the same as the 2015 MacBook. The only difference is the hardware specifications on the inside of the MacBook itself. So the 2016 MacBook comes in 4 different colors. So you can have it silver, gold, space gray or rose gold. And it comes in 2 different hardware configurations. So the cheaper one, which is $12.99, has 256 gigabyte of PCI or flash storage space, and the more expensive version, which is $15.99, has 512 gigabyte of storage space. Also, the lower model also has a 1.1 gigahertz processor, M3 processor, and the more expensive version has a 1.2 M5 processor. So this processor here will be much faster than this one here. Both come with 8 gig of memory, and it has the Intel HD Graphics 515 card on both as well. Okay, and if we flip the box over here, you can see that the model number is the A1534, and then it has the specs of the 12-inch notebook that's currently inside. Okay, so you just need to crack the seal at the back, and we'll get to the unboxing. Alright, so with the outer plastic off, you just want to take off the lid, and there you go. So we have our MacBook there. There's a little bit of plastic, you can just make it easier to lift the laptop up, and just slides out like so. We'll just pop that aside for a second and we'll have a look at what other bits of hardware we have in here. So we have the USB-C to USB-C cable. Then we'll have a look at some paperwork or documentation that comes with the MacBook. Pretty standard sort of MacBook info. A couple of stickers which matches the color, rose gold color of your MacBook or whatever color that you purchased, and just some setup instructions as well as warranty information for your laptop. Underneath that we have the USB-C charger. Let's get this bit of plastic off. Okay. And if we have a look at the bottom there, it's a 29 watt USB-C power adapter, and this plugs in to your cable at the other end there, and we've got the Australian adapter. If you're in the US, obviously you would have the US adapter there. Okay, and so apparently the hinge is so well designed that you can actually just lift the laptop lid with one finger, and you'll see a little bit of paper there. You can just remove that. That's protect the screen when it's in transit. As mentioned before, we've got this little lip here where you can put your finger in and quite easily lift the lid of the Mac. On the top of the lid there, we've got the Apple logo, which is etched into the aluminum, and it's a really nice design here at the front. Now along the left hand side of the laptop here, we've only got one USB-C type connector, and what happens is you actually need a adapter to plug in other devices like regular USB keyboard or a regular USB mouse. So it's important to kind of factor in the cost of that extra adapter, because that adapter isn't included in the laptop. On the back of the laptop, we just have the hinge where the top lid meets the base of the laptop. So on this MacBook, the wireless antennas aren't integrated into the hinge itself, rather they're actually integrated into the base of the MacBook. And also there is no fan on the back of the MacBook here. So normally you would have on other MacBooks, you would have an integrated fan and the base which would blow the air out of the bottom, but this is not the case on this MacBook. So you won't get any loud fan noises once you start using the MacBook itself. Okay, and on the right hand side of the MacBook here, we've got the combination audio and microphone jack port. And beside that, the 2 little pinholes there are the stereo microphone ports. Okay, so to charge your MacBook, we're going to go ahead and plug in the USB-C cable into our power adapter, and then the other end of that cable obviously plugs into our MacBook. We take a look at the keyboard and the trackpad on the MacBook. You can see here that the buttons are actually a lot flatter but somewhat larger than other models of MacBook. And just to give you an indication of how thin the keyboard is, you can see here that top of the keyboard doesn't even measure 1 centimeter from the table that it's sitting on. Another improvement for the keyboard is the improved backlit display keys, and we can see that when we turn the light off here. If you compare this with other MacBooks, there's a lot less bleeding around the buttons themselves, and the letters are much easier to see in low light conditions. The trackpad on the MacBook has the Tactic engine in it, which means that when you tap the trackpad, you don't actually see any movement, or the trackpad doesn't actually move itself. The Tactic engine just replicates the click so that it does actually feel like you're tapping a trackpad, but the trackpad doesn't actually move at all. So just above the keyboard, along the top of the MacBook here, you'll see quite a few rows of pinholes there, and underneath these pinholes is where the speakers for the MacBook sit. Now the sound on this MacBook is actually amazing for a Mac this size, and we'll try and give you an indication of how good the speakers are by playing 123 MyIT video. Now across the top also of the keyboard here, you've got your volume, mute button, plus you've got your volume down or up buttons. And they want to go ahead and transfer all their data from their old Android device to the new iPhone. So as you can see, the speakers on this MacBook are very capable. So while the Geekbench is running there, let's talk a little bit about the screen on the MacBook here. So it's a 12-inch LED backlit display with IPS technology. The resolution on the screen is 2304 by 1440 and has a pixel per inch of 226. The screen is amazing. It's crisp and clear with good contrast and color reproduction. It's also nice and bright with good viewing angles. At the top of the MacBook there, we've got a 480p FaceTime camera along with a LED status indicator and an ambient light sensor. Okay guys, for those of you that were interested in the Geekbench scores, here they are. So the single core score was 2385 and the multi-core score was 4532. So just a reminder that this is the lower end of the market model, which has the Intel Core M3 CPU. Obviously you would expect a slightly better performance from the next model up, which has the Intel Core M5 CPU. So for those of you that would like to know the Cinebench scores, the OpenGL score was 19.6 frames per second and the CPU was 215 CB. Okay guys, so we'll take a look at the disk speed test here. So the write speed is around about 678 megabytes per second and the read speed is 853.5 megabytes per second. Now you'll find the read and write speeds on the SSD inside the MacBook twice as fast as the 2015 model. So the last thing to mention guys is the battery life has actually been improved from the 2015 model on this 2016 model here from 9 to 10 hours. And the battery included in the 2016 model is a 41.4 watt-hours battery. So I'd recommend this MacBook for people that want a lightweight computer that allows them to, browse the web, get email, that type of thing. If you're looking for a laptop that does video editing or you want to do some gaming on the laptop, then I'd probably steer clear of this one. It just doesn't have the power or a decent graphics card to allow you to do these functions. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it from me. If this was helpful, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.